Hello students, this is Dr. Rajni Sharma, Associate Professor English. I am going to deliver this lecture for Gyandoot 2.0, an initiative taken by Commissionerate College Education, Rajasthan, Jaipur to help the students during pandemic. My topic today is English morphology and sounds. I am going to begin part 4 of this lecture series. My objective in this video is to teach the students different types of sounds, their stage and place and manner of articulation. There are 3 stages of any speech sound: production stage, transmission stage, and reception stage. Production stage is related to the production of speech sounds, how the movement of speech organs are modified by the air from the lungs in order to produce some certain sounds. It is the auditory way. Transmission stage is the stage in which the physical properties of a sound are just decided. And reception stage is the auditory way. It features how the sound is, the various features of the sounds are received by the listener. These are the 3 stages of any speech sound. There are various systems in any speech mechanism, and they are respiratory, phonatory, and articulatory system. Respiratory system is related to the respiration system. It is a system of organs which enables us to breathe the air in and out. Phonatory system is that system in which the organs are there, which enable us to produce the speech sounds. Either they are voiced or voiceless. It depends on the position of vocal cords, in which position they are. And articulatory system is the system of speech organs which assists us in modifying the air passing from larynx into the mouth, and it assumes various shapes when it is coming out of the mouth. These are the 3 systems which helping us to produce different types of sounds. Respiratory system is containing some body parts which are lungs, muscles of the chest, and trachea. Lungs are just inhaling the air. They are just taking the breath inside, and they are sending the breath air out of our body, and they play a great role in the production of speech sounds. Muscles of the chest are either expanding or contracting, and they are helping to produce certain sounds by this, because when they are contracting, then the air is brought out of the body, and when they are just expanding, then air is breathed in. Trachea is the windpipe through which air we breathe traveling to the lungs, and it is the air we breathe out is joining the air outside our body. So these are various parts of respiratory system. Phonatory system is containing vocal cords. It depends on the position of vocal cords, how they are. Vocal cords are having 3 positions, and these 3 positions are: first position, they are wide apart; second position, they are held loosely together; and the third position is they are held tightly together. In the first position, when they are wide apart, air is entering, and it is just not touching them, because they are not no obstruction of air is there, so air is passing very smoothly, and voiceless sounds are produced. All initial sounds in the words saw in saw, shaw in shake, for in fun, th in thumb are voiceless. The second position of vocal cords is they are loosely together. When they are loosely together, the air is making a pressure on them, and they are vibrating. All voice sounds are produced during this process, and we can feel that when we are putting our hand on our throat, and we feel humming sound. Vibration can be felt by us physically also. And all the voice sounds are the vowel sounds in English, and some of consonants are also there. For example, in word zoo, z is there. When we are speaking z, there is vibration in our throat. My, ma, na, in nail, sound, S-I-N-G, in Hindi, and the third position is they are held tightly together. That is the position of glottal stop. When they are held tightly together, the air is stopping. Then it is brought out the body with a sudden release. And all the words which are having initial vowel sounds in them, they are producing this sound. For example, ant, E-N-D, ant, O-W-L, owl, and up. These are these. So the vocal cords are playing a great role in voiced or voiceless sounds. Vocal cords are just in our throat. There is larynx in our throat which is containing vocal cords. Different parts of our body which are helping us to produce these sounds are there, and these are pharynx, lips, teeth is hard palate, soft palate, uvula, and tongue. And they are playing a great role in the production of sounds. First we are coming to pharynx. Pharynx extending from the top of the larynx to the root of the tongue, and they are playing a great role because in the muscles of pharynx are modified, and their shape and the size of pharyngeal cavity is deciding when they are contracting or expanding. That decides how the sound is produced. Each modification is deciding the quality of the sound we are producing. Then there is lips. When lips are coming in contact with each other, then they are producing certain sounds. For example, pa and ba in Hindi, pa patang, ba batak, ma machli in Hindi, and in English, pa paper. Pa sound is theirs. When they are coming with each other, when two lips are coming in contact with each other, then air is escaping through the nose, and ma machli. These are labial sounds, bilabial sounds. And then comes teeth. When teeth are coming in contact with each other, certain sounds are produced. For example, ta, tha, da, dha in Hindi. These sounds are in the same way. Some in English also there are some sounds which are produced by the help of teeth, and these are when the consonants which are the help of the teeth which are produced are this, the, this, and that. The tip and blade of the tongue is coming in contact with the back of the upper teeth. The, this, and that. Then comes teeth ridge. It is also called alveolar ridge, and it is a part of the roof of the mouth lying behind the upper teeth. And this is producing some Hindi words. For example, sa in Hindi, sa slate, and this teeth ridge in English is producing sounds da, dole, and da, day. Initial sounds da, day, and dole. Uvula. And first we are coming to hard palate. Hard palate is beyond alveolar ridge. It is a hard and bony surface, and we can feel it when we are moving our tongue from alveolar ridge to the roof of the mouth, and it produces, for example, ya sound. Yes, ya sound is there in English, and ya, yagya in Hindi. Soft palate, it is beyond the roof of the mouth, where bony structure is ending, and it becomes very soft. And the Hindi words ka, ma, kha, gha. For example, ka, kabuttar in Hindi, ma, machli in Hindi, kha and gha, ghar in Hindi. These are produced with the help of soft palate. And in English, the words which are used with the soft palate are b, baby, fur, food are all these. Then there is uvula. Uvula is in Urdu. There are some words, for example, ka, kareeb. Ka in Urdu, ka se kareeb banta hai. That Urdu word is produced with the help of uvula, and uvula is playing a great role in ka se kaan in Hindi. Kareeb in Urdu, kaan in Hindi are some of the words which are produced with the help of uvula. And then comes the tongue. Tongue is playing a great role, and it is, I have told all the words. Without the help of the tongue, no words can be spoken. When the top of the tongue is coming in contact with the upper teeth, then sounds are produced ta and the. And when the front of the tongue is raised, then to contact the palate, then we are producing words yellow, and university. So in this way, all the articulatory system is helping us a lot to produce all certain sounds. Here is a diagram in which we have shown the respiratory system. There is nasal cavity, oral cavity, larynx, windpipe, bronchi, heart, and lungs. In this way, we can understand respiratory system is covered all these body parts which are helping us to produce sound. Sound has straight and direct link with the air we are breathing. Then sounds are having two categories, vowel sounds and consonant sounds. Vowels and consonants, how? Earlier we used to say that vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and all the other are consonants, but that is not the right differentiation. There are two types of distinguishing terms to distinguish between speech sounds and vowel sounds. In phonetic terms, we can use them in their production, and in linguistic terms, their function in the language. Phonetically, we differentiate vowels and consonants in their production, and linguistically, their function in a language. For example, phonetically, we can say a vowel is that sound in the function of which oral passage is unobstructed. As a result, no squeezing through, no audible friction is there, and that is vowel sound. And the sounds other than are, for example, we can say no narrowing at a degree is, and consonants are all those sounds which are not vowels. Now consonants have different classification, and we can what kind of a consonant is. There are different classifications, and we have to find out whether they are voiced or voiceless, whether they are oral or nasal, whether they are bilabial, labiodental, dental. So that depends. First is the voiced or voiceless, and we have already discussed that thing. It depends on the position of vocal cords and the nature of air stream. If air stream is disturbed, then voiced consonants are produced. If air stream is not disturbed, then no vibration is there, then voiceless consonants are. So two types of consonants are there depending on the nature of air stream, voiced consonants and voiceless consonants. Then comes the position of soft palate. If soft palate is raised or not raised, and that depends when we are bringing the air out of our mouth by oral passage or nasal passage. If it is coming through the mouth, then the voice is nasal. If it is not coming through the mouth, then the consonant is nasal. So soft palate, it is raised or not raised, that is deciding whether the voice is oral or nasal. Then comes the place of articulation. According to the place of articulation, the consonants are divided as decided as bilabial, labiodental, dental, alveolar, post-alveolar, retroflex, palate alveolar, palate velar, uvular, or glottal. The last is the manner of their articulation. Manner of articulation, how in what manner they are produced, and that is plosives, affricates, nasals, rolls, flaps, laterals, taps, fricatives, or frictionless. And we shall decide all these in the coming slides. The place of articulation. In the articulation, there are two types of articulators, passive and active. Articulators are those body parts which are helping us to produce in articulation, and articulation is those articulators which are not moving, they are passive articulators, and those articulators which are moving are active articulators. Now, bilabial articulator consonants are those consonants which are in which articulators are two lips, pa, fa, ba, bha, ma in Hindi are bilabial consonants. ये स्वर bilabial है और इंग्लिश में pen, bite, man. The initial sounds in pa in pen, ba in bat, and ma in man. Then is second is labiodental, the consonants which are produced with the help of lips as well as teeth. These are labiodental, and these are active articulators in labiodental consonants are upper teeth, and passive articulators. Lower lip is active articulator and upper teeth is passive articulator. And these are the words, initial sounds in words: fa in fine, va in wine, fa, va. In Hindi we can say fal. In English, for, fine, for. When I am speaking for, my lips and teeth both are working. Next is dental. In dental consonants, active articulator is the tip of the tongue, and passive articulators are upper teeth. And ta sound, takti in Hindi, and this, that in English are dental consonants. Alveolar. Alveolar consonants are those consonants in which tip and blade of the tongue is active articulator, and passive articulator is teeth rich. For example, ta, da, la sounds in English: ta, tin, da, tin, late, la, late. Post-alveolar, in which tip of the tongue is active articulator and rear part of the ridge is passive articulator, and sound r, r in English, rail, tree. These are sounds. Retroflex. Retroflex is that in which underside of tip of the tongue is active articulator and front of the hard palate is passive articulator. Some sounds in Hindi are ta, tha, da, dha, na. Then palatoalveolar. Palatoalveolar are those consonants in which blade of the tongue is active articulator and passive articulator is teeth rich. And the second position is also there. Front of the tongue is active articulator and hard palate is passive articulator. Some words in English are chair, jail, share, division, revision. So in this way, palatoalveolar are those consonants which are spoken in two ways. There are two types, the two stages are there. First stage is when blade of the tongue and teeth ridge are coming in contact with each other, and second position is when front of the tongue is coming in contact with hard palate. And next is palatal, in which front of the tongue is active articulator and hard palate is passive articulator. In English, the y sound, yes, and in Hindi there are different sounds: cha, cha, z, z, na. Cho, chammach, cho, chhatri, ja, jahaj, jha, jhanda, jharna, and na. Next is velar. In velar consonants, The active articulator is the back of the tongue, and passive articulator is a soft palate is passive articulator, and the sounds produced are in so, sang. In Hindi there are ka, kha, ga, gha, da. Ovular is that consonant in which back of the tongue is active articulator, and uvula, it is named after uvula. Uvula is passive articulator. So if back of the tongue is touching uvula, then sound is produced. In Urdu, there is one word, ka, kareeb, kalam. Glottals are in which two vocal cords are only active articulators. For example, ha sound. We are not using either teeth or lip or ha. We are opening our mouth, and from vocal cords, this sound is produced ha. And only active articulator is ha, hen. Certain sounds require two simultaneous articulators, primary articulator and secondary articulator. For example, wood, bringing lips together. We are speaking wo in wood, bringing lips together, raising the back of the tongue towards soft palate. This sound is produced. Dear students, now we are coming to the manner of articulation. It specifies the structure or constriction which is involved in articulation of a sound. It depends on the structure involved whether complete closure is there or partial closure is there. Only some narrowing is there. So narrowing is causing that friction. These consonants are plosives, affricates, nasal, roll, tap, flap, lateral, and fricative. So these different types of consonants are according to the manner, and this manner each depending on the closure and narrowing of the passage, audible friction is how, what kind of structure is there, whether complete closure is there or partial closure is there. Some consonants produce no noise, no audible friction, so they are called frictionless. They are also called semi-vowels. What are plosives? A structure of complete closure. Complete closure is there. For example, pit, bit, tell, deal, caught, gain. Then affricates a structure of complete closure followed by gradual release. The closure of the wind is there, then the wind is released gradually. For example, release is very slow. Complete closure, then release is very slow. And chair, zug, closure z. Before we are stopping the wind, chair, then all of a sudden release is there. In nasal, it involves a structure of complete closure of oral passage. Complete closure is there, and nasal passage is open to pass the lung air. Ran. We are speaking from nose, run. Rang, sound is produced through the nose. Then comes roll. It is also called trill. A structure of intermittent closure or tip of the tongue taps against the alveolar ridge or uvula, against the back of the tongue several times. Dear students, closure is there and tip of the tongue is just touching the alveolar ridge or uvula, back of the tongue several times, so air can pass intermittently between the articulations. What happens here is just stop, then continuing, then stop. It is passing intermittently with some hurdle. For example, r. We are speaking rat. Our tongue is just having just several times it is touching. Just as in ringing of the bell, it is touching. In electric bell, it is touching several times. The same happens. When we are speaking rat. Tap are those consonants in which one articulator is moving towards another, makes a momentary contact आता है, then immediately withdraws its position of rest. For example, sound in vowels var, might, might, and flaps are having momentary contact of articulation and moves to the other position. Momentary contact is there, then they are again going to their previous position. For example, da in rod, hand, bond. Laterals are having a structure of partial closure in the word let. Fricatives having a structure of close approximation. They are coming closely to each other. No closure is there. Only some narrowing is there. Air is passing with the audible friction. Initial sounds in fa, fail, ha, here, th, think, that, and see. Frictionless continuance. Narrowing is of lesser degree. These articulators are coming in contact with each other. Articulators do not come so close. No audible friction. It accompanies the sound ra in veer, veer, rani. Veer, we are speaking ra very easily, and there are some semi-vowels. They are goes ya, for example, ya in English. Now we are coming to vowel sounds. There are three criteria of classifying the vowels. The part of the tongue used. If front vowels are I, E, A, I. In Hindi we say na I, E, A, I. In English also pin, sheet, A and I, kite, A, let. Back vowels are those vowels in which A, O, U, U. And central vowels are cup, then bird, then sound earlier. These are some of the vowel sounds. Now, height to which the vowel is raised, that is the second position. Dear students, first was the part of the tongue used. That decides what kind of vowel it is, front vowel or back vowel or central vowel. There are three categories of how we use the tongue, the part of the tongue used. And then there is height to which the tongue is raised. Closed vowels, E, U. Half closed vowels, I. Half open vowels, open vowels, in cup. The third is the position of the lips. Unrounded lips, E, I, A, I, and we are not rounding our lips while speaking these vowels. Rounded, O, U, and neutral lips are not having father. Thank you, students. Today that much only, and we shall have you have to make a practice of all these while because this doesn't happen only by giving a lecture. You have to make practice daily according to the slides I have given to you. And language learning is not very slow, it is very fast. You can't do this in one day or in one lecture. It is a slow process. You have to make practice every day. Thank you.